Welcome to the Sunday, August 10th, 2025 Massachusetts Pirate Party member meeting. I'm Chair James O'Keefe. I live in Somerville, and with me as well is Steve Revelak. How are you, Steve? And
I'm doing
maybe you
well.
should. Sorry. And where are you from, Steve?
I live in Arlington, Massachusetts,
Thanks.
also known as Far West Somerville.
We've got that little brook between us.
Yep.
Um, so is there anything you want to add to the agenda?
Nope, looks good to me.
And then our next meeting after this is scheduled for August 31st. And then this Tuesday, the 12th at 6 p.m., we'll have a meeting for organizers, pirate community organizers, if they want to come in and chit chat and talk about planning for the 2026 campaign. So we're going to try and run those every 2 or so weeks, starting in September, but that's kind of the first one officially. So, all right. So in terms of reports, um, the email update uh, went out. Um, the We have an events calendar, for those of you who um, why is that not loading right? Oh. I know why it's not rolling right. Oh, there we go. All right. So we have an events calendar. We've got this member meeting now. Organizer check-in on the 12th. For those of you who wish to attend, there'll be a virtual meeting of the City of Boston Public Safety Committee. The police want to use three tools for monitoring social media, i.e. social media surveillance. And so if you want to attend, it starts at 4 p.m. And as I said, it's virtual. You can attend, there's details there. And then we have our meeting on the 31st. And on the 4th of September is our second organizers check-in. Um, so those are the events that are coming up. Um, Nothing else to report. I'm working on putting together testimony for all of the bills that we said we would take positions on so far. In terms of decisions, endorsements, the Boston Anarchist Book Fair is coming up. That's going to be uh, November 1st and 2nd. And in the past, we've often shared a table with Restore the Fourth, and wanted to see if that's something we wanted to do again, as well as, if folks want to proposed talks. I don't think that form has gone up yet. And they usually have very limited space, unfortunately. I remember when they were at Boston University, I think they'd have like a track of three different
Hmm.
talks going at the same time. And unfortunately, due to the venue they're at, which is still a very good venue, not knocking it, they're only able to do one at a time.
Hmm.
Um, so is that something we want to attend? We were there last year. By the way, those I put those pictures up. I need to include them in the blog. Some of them I think are in the blog. But.
Yeah, I always enjoy a good book fair. I would be I'm interested in tabling.
Cool, as am I. So there we go. I'll reach out to Restore the Fourth, aka warrantlist.org, aka Digital Fourth, and all the fine, wonderful folks there, and see if that's something they'd want to share a table with. It might be, we both go and say, hey, we'd like our own table. And then they come back and say, well, can you do work together? We'll be like, sure. Because, they tend to be pretty busy. It's a lot of tables. It's a good thing. All right, so there's a pirate party, U.S. pirate party meeting tonight at 9 o'clock Eastern. Um, that's on IRC if folks want to attend. I will reach out to Eli and see how that's going. In terms of voter outreach, at the moment we're on hiatus. Either myself or Alec are on vacation, and I know Alec is going through and following off all the cities and towns who have not sent us lists, and that is, I know, less than 100, more than 20. Um, Hopefully, I'll have the proper lists when he's back. And we drafted the 2026 campaign plan in the email update. We notified folks about that. I also created a form so that if people want access to the wiki or the blog, um, they can just fill out the form. And then
Yeah,
we can know.
I saw your test message or your test
So
entry.
yes, yes. So we have that. Um, I guess we'll schedule so if we're on the 31st, then maybe that first full weekend in September we could do a Pirate News if
Hmm.
folks are interested. Okay, so Commonwealth bills to review. There's a bunch we've decided on. This is an incomplete list here. You wanted to talk about the various decrim sex work bills that you dutifully reviewed. So do you want to start off with that? Which one do you
Sure.
want to start with?
So there are four of them, and the first is the longest. Um I would suggest starting with, in the spirit of doing three at a time. I would suggest going with the second, third, and fourth.
Okay.
They're a lot more digestible than the first. The first has a lot of um, section such and such of, or chapter something, section something is hereby stricken or is amended by adding the following words, and so there's a lot of cross referencing to sort of follow it, but the others are a little more self-contained.
Okay. So which one do you want to start with?
So let's start with 2467.
Okay. Why did that happen? All right.
Oh, apparently, the legislature's website is, they're doing maintenance. So
Oops. Oh
that's funny.
wow.
My version just says site maintenance. We are currently updating the website to better serve you. Please check back soon.
Even when you go to malegislature.gov?
Oh, actually, no. I was deep linking to the bill.
Okay, yeah. So the bill, it just says 404 for me. Um,
Oh, and the top site is hanging for me now. So maybe we're not going to discuss stuff.
I
Um,
think I don't know. What do you think? Do you think I can use for the meeting image? Do you think I could just use this with, your legislature in action? Anyways, I
oh,
don't know.
oh, wait, it just
Did it start out?
oh yeah, I just
They're listening to us.
yeah, wrong bill number. So
There we go. We're back. We're back.
2467.
Here it is.
So yeah, this is an act to study the decriminalization of sex work. So what the act proposes to do is to form a study committee, and with study committees, usually the sort of thing is who's involved, or who are the committee seats. Um, so the Office of Health and Human Services will basically convene it. They have 90 days to do it, and the committee will consist of there's a long list of appointees. So one of them is the Secretary of the Executive Office of Health and Human Services. There's a representative from the Department of Public Health. There's a representative of the Executive Office of Labor and Workforce Development. There's a representative of the Department of Housing and Community Development, a representative of the Department of Children and Families, a representative from an organization focused on advocacy for sex workers, a rep from an organization focused on advocating for transgender people and racial justice. Seat number 9 is a survivor or direct service provider from an organization representing survivors of human trafficking in the commercial sex sector. Seat number 10 is representatives from the Boston Area Rape Crisis Center. Number 11 is a representative from the ACLU of Massachusetts. Number 12 is a representative from an organization focused on harm reduction related to substance use. Number 13 is a representative from an organization focused on advocating for legal defense and bonds for undocumented people. Number 14 is a rep from the Committee for Public Counsel Services. And 15 is at least 3 current or former sex workers. So that's the constitution of the committee.
I feel like current sex workers, I mean, obviously, yes, they should be on it, but I feel like if you say you are a current sex worker, does that mean someone's going to come after you?
There's we'll get into that. I mean, for the purpose of this committee, I would hope not.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
in some of the decriminalization acts, they do have changes in legislature involving that. Like if you were, yeah. But for the purpose of doing the committee's work, let's assume no.
All right. Yeah. Okay. What else do we have here?
All right, so the committee will be compensated. So this is, they're going to pay people for their time, which is cool. And they're responsible for studying and making recommendations regarding the following. So, what criminal penalties and collateral consequences exist related to the criminalization of sex work? So, what are the bad effects of it? Or, negative stuff. What labor protections need to be in place under decriminalization? What services need to be made available to people engaged in commercial sex work to improve health and safety outcomes? To identify the methods of human trafficking and exploitation in order to develop strategies to reduce these activities in collaboration with sex workers with a focus on prevention. Implementation models for alternatives to policing to promote safety in the commercial sex sector rooted in public health. And finally, the development of a fund to prevent, reduce, prevent, and eliminate human trafficking that shall include ways to support the health, safety, and autonomy of sex workers. And that's the bill.
I mean, more information is better.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they seem to have a rounded list of stakeholders, both in terms of the state departments, in terms of the people doing the work, in terms of advocacy organizations, civil rights, etc., harm prevention. And I think it seems to be focused on what legalization might look like, and at the same time, how to prevent human trafficking in conjunction with the sex work industry. That was my take on it. I don't know. What do you
Yeah.
think, Jamie?
Well, I mean, I think it's good that it's focusing on decriminalization rather than legalization, because as soon as you start talking legalization, you start saying some activities or some people are legal and some people are not,
Mm-hmm.
whereas decriminalization is we just don't care.
You're not a criminal.
You're not a criminal, and what other obviously other labor protections and
Mm-hmm.
other things apply as they should. Um, and so the one thing, well, two things that I have issue with are it doesn't actually say by when they need to come up with a report.
Oh, yeah. Let me see if
It
that.
just says 90 days they have to convene a committee. There
Mhm.
shall be an interagency committee to be convened within 90 days of the date of the enactment provision to study decriminalizing sex work. But they don't actually say when it needs to come up with a report. And they don't say the report shall be public. I assume it will be. There's probably something else in the state that says, yeah, these reports have to be public. But it's not like they
Well,
could
it's
convene and, well, we convened once and then we never really did anything. And so,
yeah. I mean, let's take a look again. I do sort of understand the idea of the idea behind the not putting a hard date on it, because sometimes these things take a while. You have people are busy and they have their own commitments and that sort of thing. Um,
sure, but I mean, I'm not saying this has to be done in 30 days, but you
mhm,
could say in a year or 18 months or 2 years that needs to do that. I mean, it also seems strange to be, when I think of, well, we have a bill and we send the bill to committee, right, as they so often do. Um, it's it's strange that we're amending the general laws to say there shall be a committee rather than just say there shall be a committee to
mhm,
review this section for this point. I mean, it's interesting to me to amend the laws. Like we still have all the other stuff that makes sex work illegal, but we're just going to put in something in laws and say, oh yeah, well we should have this thing to review it. Okay, I don't know. It's better than nothing, I
mhm,
guess. One would hope, but
mhm,
my concerns are there's no when does this thing need to be done,
mhm.
and
No,
that
that's fair.
it's explicitly that it needs to be public. So, anyways, uh, so what do you think for this one?
I Yeah, I'm okay with it. In terms of with the caveats that you mentioned, sure. But this seems like it seems like someone put the author put some thought into who would be involved. It is people will be compensated for their time, and I'm while I guess the statute or the proposed statute doesn't make a concrete guarantee that a work item will be produced. I'm hopeful that if you get people together and you pay them for a little while, that they produce something. I'd be supportive.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, as I said, aside from the two caveats, I have no problem with this. It's better to start somewhere. Um, so it'd be better to have a bill that does decriminalization. So I guess then with those caveats, we support this measure? So
I
going
would
on
say
to the, thanks. So which one do you want to, safe reporting or sexual assault by an officer?
yeah, let's go to safe reporting.
All right. This one's really short.
Mhm.
Do you want me to read it?
Yeah, go for it.
Section 22, Chapter 94C is hereby amended by inserting after Section 34A the following section, Section 34B. Any person who, in good faith, reports a crime shall not be charged or prosecuted for 1. Possession of a controlled substance under Section 34. 2. Sex for fee under Chapter 272, Section 53A, subsections A or B. 3. Loitering under Chapter 161, Section 95. 4. Trespassing under Chapter 266, Section 120. 5. Soliciting under Chapter 272, Section 8. Or 6. Conspiracy to commit any of the aforementioned offenses under Chapter 94C, Section 40, or found in violation of a condition of probation or pretrial release as determined by a court, or a condition of parole as determined by the parole board if the evidence of the above enumerated offenses was gained as the result of reporting a crime. If the reporting victim or witness later withdraws their cooperation from law enforcement, the victim or witness may not be charged under those sections of the laws cited above. It is not necessary that a reported crime be prosecuted or result in conviction in order for the protection provided by this section to be applicable. And that's it. I like that it's possession of a controlled substance or other loitering,
Hmm.
which is just in some ways I'm kind of like loitering is a crime. Standing is a crime, but
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. So,
no, this seems reasonable. The sort of situation I'm envisioning is, someone, um, you know, you're hanging around on you witness a crime, um, but you don't call but you may not want to call police because, well, what were you doing at the time? um, you know, you were engaging in sex work, um, you were partying a little bit, whatever. Um, this it seems to it might produce you know some information about crimes, but at the same time, it sort of gives a little bit of a guarantee of immunity to the person reporting. And if the person later decides that no, they don't want to cooperate, well, the police just can't turn around and bust them for whatever. So yeah, this seems okay.
yeah, no, I agree. I especially like that part. Whether it's for whatever reason they don't want to, or someone threatens them, or whatever, you can't go after them. I think that's a nice addition.
Mhm.
So all in favor of supporting?
I
Aye. So moved. Okay. So the last one is, man, just by the title, I feel like we should definitely support this one. An act relative to sexual assault by an officer. All right, let me read this one. Section 1, Section 13H1 half, cool, of Chapter 265 of the General Laws, as appearing in the 2022 official edition, is hereby amended by inserting after the first sentence the following. For the purposes of this section, control shall include, but not be limited to, supervising a person under the age of 18 who is in a law enforcement training program, interacting with a person being questioned, investigated, or detained, communicating the power to charge or arrest a person, whether explicitly or implicitly, regardless of whether such power could lawfully be exercised, that's interesting, or otherwise exercising or attempting to exercise coercion or influence while acting under color of law. For purposes of this section, coercion shall include but not be limited to threats of serious harm to or physical restraint against any person, any scheme, plan, or pattern intending to cause a person to believe that failure to perform an act would result in serious harm to or physical restraint against any person, or the abuse or threatened abuse of the legal process. Section 2, Section 22 of said Chapter 265, as so appearing, is hereby amended by inserting after the sentence the following: for the purposes of this section, control shall include, but not be limited to, supervising a person under the age of 18 who is in a law enforcement training program. Isn't this the same thing?
It's the
Okay.
same thing, yeah.
All right, and then again, coercion. And then Section 3, each law enforcement agency shall create within 180 what? Let's
I,
assume
I think I
days.
think they're missing. I think they're missing the word days. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, minutes, minutes. It really should be minutes. Anyways, with the passage of this bill, picoseconds, a policy that prohibits law enforcement officers from knowingly and willingly engaging in sexual conduct with the suspect of a criminal investigation of prostitution during the course of an investigation conducted by that officer. The policy shall be posted and made publicly available. Okay, so I think this is where you were talking about knowing what's in the particular relevant law it's referring to. So I'm going to let you lead on this.
Yeah, so I actually it was the other one or a different one, but let's take a look. So we have chapter 265 13H1 half. So let's see, bills and laws. Let's look up chapter 265, not 365, 265. And what was it? Something one half?
13H 1/2.
All right, so 13H. Okay, so 13H. So the title of this section is Indecent Assault and Battery Committed by Law Enforcement Officers on Certain Vulnerable Persons in Their Custody.
Yeah, I went and tried to go to the website as well, and I'm getting the Microsoft
Yeah, so
server screen.
So this section is rather long, but it basically makes it illegal for um, officers to do an assault and battery or indecent assault and battery on minors or elders or etc.
I think that's a wonderful thing. Police should not have that ability. And if they do, they should go to jail.
And let's see, control. Okay, so control in this context means a person who is in custody or control of a law enforcement officer. So now this, basically provides, a broader scope to control. So it also includes people in law enforcement training programs, which under 18 in a law enforcement training program, that's interesting, but okay.
Yeah.
Person being questioned, and coercion. So what does the word as coercion come into this context? Oh, okay. So the paragraph that talks about what control includes uses the word coercion, and then there's another paragraph that defines coercion. Okay. All right. So let's see. Chapter 265, section 22. What does that deal with? So section 22 is rape, generally, weapons, punishment, eligibility for furlough, education, training, or employment programs offenses committed by law enforcement officer against person in his or her custody. And it's, kind of seems to be kind of the same thing. Explaining what control is, and then because the definition of control uses the word coercion, you have a definition for coercion. This seems okay to me.
Yeah, I mean, there's literally no. I'm amazed that we have laws that allow the police to abuse people, and you can't go after them for that. So yeah, sure.
Right.
So you support?
Yes.
You support, I support, we all support. All right, great. So yeah, I then. Okay, great.
Mhm.
All right. So with that, we have tackled 3 additional bills. And supporting all of them. So you want to then adjourn, or do you want to tackle H 1980?
Let's H 1980 is kind of long, so let's save that one for next week.
Sounds good. All right then. Trying to think if there's anything else. We got some other things that keep getting pushed off, but we shall get to them. Okay. So just to remind folks who have come this far, we have a organizers meeting this Tuesday, 6 p.m. online on the 12th, and then we'll be meeting back here on the 31st for another member meeting. Shall we then adjourn then, Steve?
Have a good night, Jamie.
And you as well. And we hope you all have a good night. You can find us at masspirates.org. Feel free to sign up for our email newsletter, volunteer. We're really going to be reaching out to volunteers for 2026. So we'd love to have more. And so catch us at the Anarchist Book Fair and whatever other events we do in September and October. So with that, take care, folks. Bye.